welcome everyone to today's episode of Wednesday Wisdom Webinar. Our speaker is Simone John Thomas, founder of Octus Network. He is a visionary entrepreneur and the founder of Octus Network, a dynamic agency at the intersection of branding and experimental events and cutting edge technology with a strong focus on AI driven strategy, immersive experiences, and digital innovation. He helps brands and communities leverage technology to foster meaningful engagement. I'm super excited about today because I'm the key takeaways are how AI can hold your expertise. I love teaching it to be more me. Workflows that don't need code because not all of us are coders, and teach once, access forever. I love that also because don't want to have to put in every bit of information every time I want to build something out in AI. So I'm excited today to learn all of these things, and I hope that you are too.
Yes, thank you, Natasha, and thank you guys for having me on here. And it's a honor to even be speaking with all of you guys, and hopefully you guys do take away something today. But yeah, like she said, today's topic is really just building AI tools that work for you and not think for you, and make sure it kind of extends your mental runway to make sure everything that you have to do is done correctly, and especially in ways or moments where you have to think like someone you're not. Let's say, for example, if you're having to put on so many hats as an entrepreneur, you might have to be a financial analyst one second, you might have to be a branding guru another second. So being able to find expertise, but the expertise is also layered within you. Well, 1 second. The real problem a lot of entrepreneurs face today is the fact that they understand that AI is here. You understand that it can be revolutionary to your business, but understanding how to actually make these things useful for your operations and business, a lot of times it leads to a lot of misunderstandings, inefficiencies, and especially when it comes down to probably the ultimate thing a lot of business owners are wanting to do is finding ways to automate certain processes. But at the same time, those things, especially when you want to hire another agency, you're dealing with a high price tag, somewhere upwards to $20,000 sometimes to really build these custom um, tools for you. But I feel there's a space where you can be where you're not necessarily having to spend too much money, but still get that same quality effort. And especially, honestly, from the comfort of your own laptop. A lot of the tools that we're going to go over and cover are relatively cost effective, especially when you compare the actual price of hiring someone outside of your organization to take on something like this. And of course, the breakthrough of having AI now is the fact that you can combine the man and the machine. You're able to really get the most out of yourself by leveraging AI and also allowing it to understand your problems and allowing it to think further and faster for you on your behalf. But it doesn't necessarily take anything away from you. Um, but yeah, basically, as I grew my network, my business, I'm always having to delegate certain tasks to people. And as we get into this age where a lot of things are tighter on the financial terms, you're wanting to make sure, like, okay, if am going to bother someone, I want them to do something that I know I truly can't do. So for me, in my case, I know I am really good at strategy. I'm really good at developing personal relationships with people and understanding things and solving problems. I might not be the best graphic designer, or I might not know a lot about branding because I do, I have teammates for that. But in some cases, you might be up at 12 o'clock in the morning or just stuck in a situation where you cannot rely on them. So you have to be able to pull things together to make things work for you. So in this situation right here, I pulled together a plethora of different AI tools. Of course, here in the, right here, everyone recognizes this logo as a Chat GPT. I utilize YouTube, Notebook LM, Claude, Replit, and Gemini. These are all other AI. These right here or all other AI tools out in the market that are relatively free or super cost effective. Claude, I would say, is another. Claude and Gemini are probably the two more similar to Chat GPT in the sense that they're traditional LLM and you can talk to it. Now, Replit is more, this use case for this one is like, I want to build something. So you might not want to be able to bother a developer to build maybe a custom CRM for your business, but Replit can do it for you just by utilizing a prompt. In Notebook LM, you're able to use this to understand any topic better. It's an education tool that was produced by Google, and I really do think you guys will love it. And I'm just kind of going to go through the steps of how I take all those different tools to create a workflow. And in my case, I start off utilizing YouTube videos where I like myself and other people in the world. I'm pretty sure like yourselves as well. You are probably spending a lot of your time on YouTube and trying to understand maybe a particular topic or subject, or you just watching some particular content that might resonate with you and you want to apply that knowledge to your business. And Notebook LM and the other tools I'm showing you at the end of this presentation are workflows you can kind of build off of to create a custom assistant around a particular topic. So being able to summarize any information and then use all of that processing power together to really create something innovative. And being able to take all that, it's a kind of like a step-by-step operation, taking all the summarization of everything you get from Notebook LM. You're feeding it into ChatGPT, utilizing their custom GPT feature to summarize it to really make it something worthwhile for your business. And of course, the end part of that is integrating it and collaborating with other AI tools. I'm kind of going to skim through this because I really do think like it's better for me to show you guys rather than kind of like tell you about it like this. So let me get back down to actually what I'm doing. So in my case, what I want to do here is, let's say, for example, I own a pet business, and inside my pet business, I was just starting it up. I don't know how to do branding or anything like that. So let's say I'm researching branding from probably some of the top rated videos on YouTube here. You have this guy, Alex Garcia, someone I actually watch, and he's super knowledgeable on branding and how brands should move in this day and age. So what I'll do, I click on this video,
The biggest marketing arbitrage next year is going to be
and
organic social.
instead of trying
Right,
to
the brands that are going
spend
to win aren't just going to
14
build following.
minutes, excuse me on that, 14 minutes trying to learn this video, because time is money, I'm going to take this video and plug it into Notebook LM. And these are all Notebook LM is a free Google product, so you can really just type it in and log in, and you're good to go. I'll take in this video and put it in here, and now it has the knowledge of this video, and now I'm able to say, hey, I am starting a new pet care company in Atlanta. What tips can I get to help me start with branding? And now using this, I guess, your own custom brain in here as a tool, you're able to really get an understanding how to actually build your branding. And some people could stop here and just say, okay, well, I just want to utilize, Gemini's tool. And of course, you can connect your Google Drive here to bring in more personal documents, so you have more conversations about any particular file or case study you're working on, any links from a website or a YouTube channel, especially if you're trying to look at competitors and compare certain things and see what they're doing on their site versus what you want to do. And of course, you can paste any text in here as well. And what I like to do is try to dig out as much knowledge from this one video or just any plethora of videos on any given topic. Because you can throw in, let's say, Alex Hormozy is another prominent person, and it comes down to business, so you guys may know. But just finding any videos that you want to just learn more about, you can just add it to the knowledge base. And so what I do from there is ask it to give me all the important info I need to build a custom GPT using Chat GPT. And basically what this prompt is telling it to do is pull out any key information that I need from this video. And so that's what it's basically doing right now. So again, saving you time instead of trying to watch so many videos, and you just kind of like just copy and paste. It's really the name of the game. Um, it's just copying and pasting. And I go back to ChatGPT and I'm like, okay, I want to make a new custom GPT. Boom. This custom GPT is basically going to feed off of the knowledge of what I'm building. And I'm doing this, slightly fast for our presentation sakes, but just remember that you can plug in anything inside of this. So any work documents, anything you wanted to remember about yourself, all be configured inside here. Actually, I did skip a step to format it properly. So I'll paste it inside here in this chat. Turn this information into instructions for a custom GPT. And boom, it's going to start getting to work for me, making those instructions. And what I basically do once it's done, I'll go ahead and go back where I was previously inside the custom GPT creator and go ahead and fill out these things. And it's doing a really in-depth job on the frameworks and stuff too. So that's probably one of the most important pieces, is making sure that whatever knowledge base you're building is chock full of different frameworks and structures. So when you're plugging it back in into it and you're chatting with it, you're able to get the most out of it. And I did not think it would take this long. But again, it's really more so based on the information that you're trying to request. So if you're trying to figure out how to be the most financially literate person in your business, so your pricing's on point, you can find YouTube videos or bring any other information to the table to make sure that your custom GPT is the absolute best at whatever you want it to be. So in this case, custom GPT instructions. It gave it a name, influence, archetype GPT to help creators, founders, and brands design content strategies and growth systems that maximize influence, loyalty, and virality using the SPL framework and cult brand foundations. And you just take this and boom, copy it, go back to create custom GPT and configure and paste. Thought. Marketing. Helper. And of course, I like to give it a little photo as well. And you can kind of make it more in depth if you wanted to include some knowledge, some other knowledge files is where you'll be uploading your business documents or anything you wanted to know or you have like a hard copy of. And then you go back to create and it's creating it for you. But just to make sure, just to go off something I've already made, on this left-hand panel here, I've made so many custom GPTs to help my business as far as like having a startup strategist, a market analyst, a creative director, or a brand clarity coach. And I've done it and formatted it in a way where, especially the brand clarity coach, I'm asking it like so many questions about like, say, just to get it started. Hey, I have a new business that's around pets and I don't know where to start. Since this custom GPT is went through that same process of downloading so many information pieces from YouTube, it's able to understand so many different layers of brand building that would potentially cost me, again, upwards to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 when if I was to go to an outside agency to seek this help. And so now I'm able to format it and structure it where it acts as like a personal coach. So it's, if you see right here, it says, hey, I'm Sage, your brand clarity coach. I specialize in helping entrepreneurs and business owners discover their authentic brand identity through proven strategic processes. And so now it's like, hey, what's originally inspired you to create this pet business? So now you have a coach and you're able to kind of just chit chat with it, like, hey, I need help figuring out why cats a point of business for, excuse me, can you go away? Away, move. Okay, that's relatively on it. Why did it pop up when I'm trying to get to my thing? Thank you. Oh. But just being able to, chit chat with something that's far more informant on what you're looking for. It's curated exactly on what you're trying to do. Of course, I have it set up where I can go question to question with it, but if you're just trying to just ask any question about any particular thing, this custom GPT will help you figure that out. And what I also like to do is create different workflows within the workflow. So being able to, let's say, for example, you start here with your branding piece, and when you're done, you're able to go to create another one. What I did was more so on website copy, because as websites, we need so much of information and knowledge, and we also understand how important it is to have a good website. And so in this case, this custom GPT is just nothing but stock full of frameworks and some structures, knowledge based on SEO, and how to make the most optimized version of your website. And so this can tell me exactly what I need to do to be able to, figure out how to make my website. And then what I'll do from here, when I'm done utilizing this, I would then go to Replit. And then I'll ask it to make me a website for my first pet sitting service in Atlanta, make it orange. Orange, brown, and purple. Random colors. And boom. It's going to create that for me. Here.
I have a question that I struggle with when using ChatGPT or any of the I call them all ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Any of the AI tools. Sometimes when I ask it to format stuff for me, it does not want to do my boxes. Like if it's making a box, it runs words together and overloads. And I have to really, really, really just keep plugging back in more information to get it to make that box the way that I need the box to look. Do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, I actually was going to get to that. So
Okay.
basically, what
I
I
jumped
would
the gun. I'm sorry.
I will say this, just to talk to that specific point. ChatGPT is really good, a foundational place to go. And when you're saying boxes, are you talking about like images or
I'm talking about like graphic boxes. Like say I was gonna give you like a pricing chart, like a chart or a poll or something like that. When I use the AI tools, like, and maybe I'm just not using the right one. I'm branching out into the ones I'm using now, but um it runs the boxes together. Like when it puts stuff in a box with lines
Yeah.
and it runs all the words together and I just really have to keep plugging in, plugging in, plugging in, and I get frustrated. I end up putting the whole thing in Canva. So
Yeah, I honestly think for that use case, ChatGPT and I would say any other like, general LLM, when it comes down to image generation, it requires you to be meticulously on point with your descriptions. So the power in everything you do with AI is in the prompt. And you might think of like, hey, of course, organically it has to look good, but it being an AI and not necessarily being, AI that's fixated on design, it's going to give you a very general or elementary level performance based on your prompt. Um, so what I like to do, if you're doing anything as far as like for images, I would go ahead and say start that as we're doing this. In the background, as we're doing something else, this is going to be making our website for our pet sitting business. Um, I like to use Google Gemini. Google Gemini has a plethora of features, just like ChatGPT, but its image generation is a step better than I believe. Um, so let's say, for example, you have like the pet sitting business. You have a logo and you have a mug. These two pictures, can you put my logo on this mug? And I'm not going to say this is going to be accurate 100% of the time because this is very I would like to say that we are in the BlackBerry stage of AI development and we haven't hit the iPhone level yet, but it's quickly approaching. So you're going to have to deal with going, like you said, Natasha, going back and forth with these different tools because sometimes they tweak out, like right now for some reason. It's like, yes, I can do that for you. What are you doing?
I know I'll have that too. Like I'll be cruising along making something for a client, and then all of a sudden it'll just like revert back to day one, and I'm like, "What are you doing? We've been working so well together
There we
today."
go. Thank you. So basically doing things like this, because they have this nano banana is what they call it. That's why you have this little banana picture. Um, and it basically combined those two images together for me. So now when it comes down to your website and you're like, oh, um, I need to, let's say preview. Can we see what it's doing? See, it's even generating images for the, yeah. Basically, you're in a stage now where leveraging AI in a particular way from the ideation stage of figuring out what your branding is and how you can improve it, to really get the core feel of what you're doing, you're able to really get the bang for your buck here. Because you're like, because like, right, I remember in the past, I charged a client $10,000 for what I'm showing you, and you can get this done for less than $150 a month. So just Claude and Chat GPT are both $20 a month. Notebook LM is a free service. If you're using it just for this use case, it's definitely a free service. And of course, it can even go deeper if you're, because it's really it's foundationally built on improving education. So if you wanted to make yourself a quiz about something that you're trying to figure out, any flashcards, a mind map, if you wanted to have it to be like a conversation, you're talking with like an AI that has this audio overview where it generates a podcast of sorts around whatever particular topic that you're researching. So the possibilities are truly unlimited. Um, I kind of want to see what's going on here. There we go. This is very elementary, of course, but being able to go to a chat bot and be able to build out a website and be able to edit it on the fly just by talking to a chat bot is time saving. That's money saved. And especially if you're in a sense of like, I'm trying to get up and go. I'm trying to move as fast as possible. So I feel like that's going to be the next thing that all of us are going to have to make sure is the speed of what we're doing and how we're moving is just moving so fast. So being able to leverage tools that can be able to solve your problems or your client's problems as fast as possible really is the name of the game. But I did kind of want to stop there because I would say traditionally, a lot of the stuff that I'm utilizing can be broken down into different use cases for whatever industry or environment you're in, you're trying to serve, be it a personal use case or for business. So I'll say Natasha, since you're the last one I spoke with here, did you have any particular questions on building out or workflow? I know I kind of moved a little fast, but
I think it'd be great to have a discussion about what people are looking for because I think the biggest thing about all the AI technology is just there's so much out there.
yeah, it is a
So,
massive amount.
if we're just getting started with it, but we want to utilize it to the fullest of its abilities for our businesses, where do we start? Where do we?
Um, I guess to answer that question, be starting here at ChatGPT. So everyone, I feel like that's probably everyone's first gateway into AI is ChatGPT and understanding that the possibilities are unlimited. The power is in the prompt and what's in your mind. What are you trying to seek? So if you are trying to find other AI tools or other tools in general that you could be using to leverage your business, all you have to do is ask it. So, hey, I need to know what other AI tools can I use to help my business. Now, granted, this is probably going to speak more so to my business since it's my account, but it will tell you, like it's telling me right here for content creation and marketing automation, Jasper AI, Serve for SEO, all these other things is just going to tell me like, hey, you should be using this. Microsoft Copilot, data analytics, excuse me, creative design and assets, Adobe Firefly is another image generation tool if you're familiar with the Adobe suite. So the possibilities, like I said, are unlimited when you're just starting from just what you have.
So if we had,
Um,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your.
yeah, go ahead.
So if we're just getting started, let's say I've never really used it before, except maybe to do the little prompts and stuff that were TikTok prompts and playing around with
Mhm.
it. and I want to utilize it for my business. Do you recommend before I go in and ask it what kind of tools and stuff I use, I share as much information about my business as I can with the Chat GPT to set up my profile?
I would say, since your account is connected to ChatGPT, obviously, right? You want to make sure before you do any divulging of any trade secrets or anything that's super sensitive, um, just go on your settings and secure data control. And right here in data control, the first one, improve the model for everyone. You want to turn that off.
Okay.
In layman's terms, is basically saying we're going to take whatever you put into us and feed it back to our engines to learn from it. And you don't want that when it comes down to your business. You want to just keep utilizing this without them taking from you. But yes, I do encourage you to treat ChatGPT like your business therapist. I would say divulge any and everything that you have going on in your life, be it from business, be it the health, whatever you're dealing with. Talk to it, let it understand who you are. And then once you do that, it can then perform for you organically because it has the memory, shared memory. So it remembers what you wrote down from, you know, one chat down here to FIFA requirements in my case to everything. And so now when I talk to it now organically, it knows that I'm talking about octaves. It knows that I'm struggling here or I'm struggling there. And these are the tools that my user would definitely, need the most. So yeah, if you want to break it down to the elementary level like that, of course, the first step would be just talking to it. And then once it understands you, and then you will probably have a better chance of getting more accurate representation from it about things that you need from it.
Would it mirror our personality as we add more information?
It would mirror, it wouldn't necessarily mirror your personality. It will understand your personality too, so it can respond better to you.
Okay, but that's a better way of wording it because when you talk about that AI is on, and I'm using my words in the dial-up level, and it's going to increase and get more powerful. I'm below dial-up level. I'm getting the phone in
Yeah.
order to get started. And I have a practice that I've been doing for over half a century and wellness. And I'm looking for something to help assist me, because I'm doing a lot of this stuff on my own and with my lectures and workshops that I do frequently that I end up doing most of the work with. So you saying chat GBT would probably be the best way for me to go?
Yes. I would definitely recommend ChatGPT if you're looking for a strong basis. I have Claude up here too because it's basically kind of the same thing as ChatGPT, but it has certain strengths than others. But um, yeah, the core of just building out what you're doing for your business would be best served off of ChatGPT. And what I was trying to have you guys understand is just you might have your own internal workflows where, step A, I do this, step two, I do that. Think of it like, okay, let me empower my workflow by utilizing AI. Like, for example, when I have a meeting with a prospect or anyone I'm talking to about business, you probably seen in your own, journeys in your business world where you might join a Google Meets or a Zoom and they might have their recorder or AI
Mhm.
companion
Yeah.
record your meeting. Now, for what I do, I take that information from the meeting, I put it inside ChatGPT, and I talk to it. How did that meeting go? What do you think I should be working on next? What's the next steps as far as like what the client should be sending me? Just have everything broken down in front of me. So then I can build from that something more accurate. Especially when it comes down to submitting proposals or anything to clients, right? You
That
want to make sure,
yes. I
you
ask it,
know,
I put the chats in the AI and ask it to help me build out a proposal, but I've never asked it like, how do you think that meeting went, or where do you think I need to
Yeah,
go?
neither have I.
yeah, like you really because like, look, it can be whatever you want it to be. If I'm not mistaken, I know Dave and we've spoken in the past about the power of AI, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you're trying to get down to an actual voice coach. They have, I'm not sure my computer can do it. They have voice mode that you can chit chat with and just talk to. Of course, my computers, this one I'm using right now isn't that new, so it kind of stutters a bit. But just still being able to talk to it about some of the things that I might struggle with. I don't even, can you hear me, ChatGPT? Yeah, it might not be able to hear me since we're on Zoom. But being able to talk to it like that's probably like the best way to do it is, hey, here's the text documents I have. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm struggling with. What do you think is the most optimal way? And I would definitely encourage you, since a lot of these chatbots are designed to keep you inside of it, to challenge it. Do not just take it what its words for granted, especially as some entrepreneurs in the past, like myself, we like to stack services like, oh, this would be a good add-on. This would be a good add-on. And I'm realizing over time, like, yo, I'm making my plate full before I even get my first customer. What am I doing? And I'm talking back and forth to it. It's just saying, yes, this is great. Yes, this is great. But I'm taking it to Claude and I'm saying that same thing, and it's telling me, no, stop. You're doing way too much before you even hit first base. And so you have to understand that these different chatbots are designed differently, and you can tailor how they respond to you so you make sure that you stay on the right track and you don't end up on the news with psychosis from dealing with artificial intelligence for too long. And just keeping it streamlined on, one objective. And so my chat GPT is streamlined on making sure that it challenges my thoughts. It doesn't allow me to just assume anything. So especially if I like see something crazy online, I take a screen grab of a news article, they might pop up that's crazy. And I say, hey, is this real? Is this any, reference or resources online you can pull up to, help me figure this out? And it will do that. And then it will challenge my assumptions about, whatever I originally said to it about it. And you end up having some more truth to things. So were you
Yeah,
gonna say
I'll jump in
anything?
there.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned my name, I'll pop in with a little something. But thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's good to see you again, my friend, and
Yeah.
great information that you're sharing. I think that these different chat models, like my brother was saying, it depends on what the use case is to decide which is the best one for you. I
Yeah.
was a beta tester for Chat GPT for about 6 weeks before it became public. But since it's come out, you got Claude, you got Perplexity, you got Grok, you got all these different types of ones. Although Perplexity technically is not an LLM, but if
Yeah.
you want to do something that's researched fact based, then you want to use something like a Perplexity or Claude because a lot of times they will give you the source where they got the information, and then that's how you know that it's truthful or factual, as truthful as things can be online. But ChatGPT in general, we'll try to give you it won't try, it will give you a good answer, but you do want to second check some of that stuff, some of that information, because it's designed to please you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
exactly.
appreciate him saying that because on my computer, every day I'm getting new AI programs, join this one, join that one, join this one. No, this one is better than that one. And I'm like, I'm not joining any of them till I can talk to somebody that knows what they're doing because I don't want to get started and then get lost in, tons of information, which throws me completely off my purpose and my goal.
Yeah, hundreds of them come out every day, and part of the reason why I joined the meeting today, one, to show my brother some support, but two, I subscribe to a lot of channels and I get a lot of information, but I wanted to join because there might be one nugget that I pick up that I could take back to my tool set, and so today has been really good.
Um, Dr. Tamika, if I'm saying your name right, I see your hand raised.
Hello. Yes, thank you for this session. I'm sorry I had to step out, so I'm not sure if you already answered this question, but I've heard that if you put any IP into Chat or Claude or Gemini, that is no longer private information, it would be public information. So I wanted to get clarity on that, if you've already answered it, or if you can help me understand with us putting like our ideas and, anything that we came up with, is it then public?
Hmm. Okay. I did kind of, touch on that a little bit. So basically, and I don't necessarily fully understand if this is 100% not going to be inside of ChatGPT's knowledge base. So I guess when it gets sent back, you know, I guess to the source, if you want to call it like that. But I go to security, inside the security or data control settings within ChatGPT, and it always has a section where it asks you, hey, could you help us improve our models for everybody by studying what you're putting into it and how you're interacting with ChatGPT? And for me, and what I always tell everyone else, like turn it off. You don't want to be an experiment, for everyone else to, steal your ideas or whatever. But I would say second though, I do kind of also want to bring up the fact that it's once you turn it off, feel comfortable, but like I don't necessarily think anyone is going to be able to take what you are making and do what you do. And it's going to be very hard for someone to like they have to know or be you to know exactly what you're doing and then prompt it and do your own thing. But you still also have to realize that you are you and what you're making is still from you. You are the source and no one can copy the source, right? So I would, make sure you protect it, but I wouldn't be fearful about it, especially when it comes down to, ChatGPT, or just OpenAI in general.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. But let me go back to here, and the website is done. So being able to create something fast that looks good. And of course, you can go back and change any of this. And in the bottom left corner, it's asking me, hey, I created the visual preview of your app. It looks good to go to you. They can go and keep building more functionality on it. Because right now it's just a skin of how it looks or not. So that would cost me $5,000 maybe, $3,000 maybe before AI was, in the mainstream, But now I just made it, and this is on the free version of Replit. Replit by itself is 25 bucks a month. And now you have people who are in the news making multi-millions of dollars because they're taking Replit and building their dream application with it and finding, clients to hop on board and start making sales because you can connect Stripe into it as well to set payments and a whole bunch of other stuff. The sky is really the limit. I always say if you're trying to do something, utilizing Replit, just make sure you have your ChatGPT right next to you, coaching you, making sure everything is right. If you, of course, Claude. If you want to do market research, I definitely say use Perplexity. Even inside what I'm using right now, this is Perplexity's browser comment that I'm using. Because AI browsers are going to be the name of the game moving forward. It's at the next frontier. Because if you guys are users on Macs or whatever, they have Atlas, ChatGPT's version of a web browser. So, and it all functions like Google Chrome because it's all built on that Chromium foundation. Um, but yeah, I would say in the layman's terms, though, that this is pretty much it. It's just utilizing a bunch of different AI tools to make a workflow. That's really what I want you guys to take away is that the power of these tools are in the palm of your hands and you can do so much with it to help your personal self from health care to mental health well-being because even I have different chats for like a project I'm working on, event sense, my content, my health and mental health, um anything I'm building for my life or education stuff I'm working on. Having this type of workflow, being able to talk to, I guess, theoretically talk to these guys without having to talk to them. It's all possible now. Because I'm pretty sure if you try to talk to Alex Ramosi, he's probably going to charge you a arm and a leg for a sit down with him to how to do your business. But the next best thing is just taking all his YouTube videos, compiling it up on Google's Notebook LM, and then asking him that way. So, I would say, is there any more questions at all? So that's pretty much the end of what I have to show you guys.
I just want to say that you've given me a lot of clarity because I've been reading, talking to people, and it ended up being more confusing. And I'm not a dummy, and I'm like, okay, but this is all brand new. You've answered you answered questions I've had, presented new questions, and then answered those questions. So, I just want to say I appreciate that. I'm still in the infant stage.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm still going to try to get my phone to do dial up, figuratively.
yeah, I got you. I got you.
But
And
but you've helped a lot and given me a lot of clarity. I want to thank you for that.
hey, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. All right. Where did camera? But yeah, that's basically it. You can reach me at hello@oxysnetwork.com. You wanted to email me in the chat or anything. Of course, you can get my information from Natasha as well. If you guys are looking for any assistance, any back and forth about whatever AI problem you're trying to solve within your business, always here to help. Especially when it comes down to leveraging AI to bring humans together. That's really my cup of tea. Is making sure that experiences that are happening are data driven, and so we can take the information and utilize it for the good of your community. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you for doing this, and thank you for breaking it down into such simple terms. Like Dr. Tate said, a lot of us are still in the dial-up stage, so we appreciate that.